Welcome to the Multifamily Marketers Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Grillo, co-founder here at Resident 360, and I am joined by my co-host, Caroline Mills. Caroline, how are you today out there in Raleigh, North Carolina? Isn't that right?
Yes. Hey, Josh. Yep, we're getting some good weather here. We've had a crazy summer out here in North Carolina, so us being in like the mid to upper 80s right now is really nice. We had a few days getting above 100 there. We've had lots of storms, so not quite as, we've had a lot, I think, more mild summer so far out in San Diego.
Yeah. It's actually just now getting hot out here, believe it or not. It's been fairly a pleasant summer, but the heat is coming, specifically here in August and probably early September. All right. Well, getting down to business, we have this is going to be a shorter episode than normal. We are talking about AI today, and more so, it's been a lot of, with ChatGPT 5 coming out, there's a lot of reviews about that, some good, some not so good. Let's just call it a lot of mixed reviews about ChatGPT 5. But on top of that, Google reviews, they are changing, I would say. So Google is making some updates to their reviews, and obviously that has a lot of implications for multifamily properties because we know Google reviews are a very big driver of bringing people over to properties and so forth.
Absolutely.
So with that said, Caroline, talk to me about Google reviews and AI. What's new from Google? What's Google doing right now?
Yeah, we're seeing a few new changes, and this will start to impact our industry as they're doing some testing, and you'll probably notice this when you're looking up some other things. I know we were talking about, before we started recording, I was letting you know they started in the hotel industry is kind of one that they're starting in, and they're moving to different areas. So basically, one of the first things is an AI-generated review summary is now live and expanding. This has been on Amazon for some time and some other consumer sites, but what it's doing is it's taking all of your reviews, it's running through all of them, and it's trying to find commonalities. And plus and minus for you as the property or you as the consumer is it gives you the pros and the minuses. So you will hear things like, residents really love the pool. They really love the close proximity to their work, but they also mention that they can hear their neighbors above them a lot and that the grounds are not always clean. So it's going to take all of those reviews and it is going to summarize. So we will start seeing that to come into our industry. You might be noticing that across there now. So that one's a big one. Have you seen any of those or have you ever used those before on things?
Well, obviously I use it with Amazon.
Yes, I use it with Amazon too.
All I do is look at review summary, and that kind of like sums it up for me. So then I'm like, I don't have to go dig through, all the different reviews there. But again, I'll still look at the top, maybe, the 5-star reviews, and then maybe I'll go look at what the 1-star reviews are. But then I look at the summary and kind of like make my judgment call in terms of if I want or not.
We take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I can see from a multifamily property perspective, I can see it being very helpful for a prospect.
Yeah.
But, it can also be a little bit detrimental for a property, specifically if it's a property that's been recently taken over.
Yeah.
And they've worked really hard on building up and getting some positive reviews. Yet they're still stuck with a bunch of negatives that have been there from the past management company. So I can see how that could really hurt a property like that.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper here. So, why are these really going to matter? Are they going to matter? What as a multifamily property, what do you really need to be thinking about, paying attention to, when it comes to these AI review summaries? Like, how can you change it? How can you turn it off? How can you move the needle in one direction or the next? What do we need to be paying attention to?
Yeah, that's a good point and good question. We don't know a ton about what Google has put out so far about this, and because they're still in their testing phase, and you'll even see it right now. It'll say like generate AI summaries and testing. We don't know a lot about like how far back is it pulling. If you have 500 reviews, is it pulling all 500? Is it going to pull your most recency? We do know that it will amplify patterns and not one-offs. So if you get one angry, 1-star review, that can happen. It's not going to just start highlighting that in there, but it will pull patterns. And so what we heard is it is the pattern of what AI services. Your consistency is more important than sporadic 5-star reviews. So we talk about this a lot with consistency and just getting those reviews more often. That is going to play a huge part into this new AI summary. And now prospects will now keyword skim your reputation. Something they're doing with this AI is they're also introducing a search text within your reviews. So now not only do you get the AI skim summary of what, the gist of it is, but now you can actually keyword search. So you could type in pets, you could type in pest, you could type in parking, you could type in all sorts of things, and it will actually pull up reviews just mentioning the things you're looking for. Again, as a prospect, very, very helpful and helps you look for exactly what you're looking for. As a property management company, now it's just something to be more aware about of what your patterns are. You'll be able to see this, which is the nice thing. You can see this yourself, and so you can make changes and adjust things in asking for reviews. But it could change your local visibility a little bit based off of what people are saying. It could impact leasing, just now flooding 5-star reviews. Won't necessarily change anything if you have a bunch of negative ones, but there's still a learning time here. I think we'll continue to hear from Google as this gets fleshed out.
Okay, so here's one for you. Can you, I was just thinking about this, engineering themes, right? So obviously ethically, of course.
Yeah.
But when you ask residents to give you reviews, giving them topic prompts, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple, as you're talking, I wrote down, like how's parking and package delivery? How responsive is maintenance? Is it quiet at night? What do you love about the pool or dog park? Prompts that can potentially, if a resident was to, answer those with a review, that could be pulled in an AI summary. What do you think? I was just writing these down as you
Yeah.
were
I'm
talking.
interested to see. I think there's a fine line, kind of when we were talking about, our episode of how we respond to reviews, like making it sound natural. I think there's overarching things you could do, sending a resident, tell us what you love about our amenities. And then maybe it puts into that, prospect's mind, oh, I do really love the amenities here. I go to the dog park every day. I will write a review about that. Versus getting too hyper specific, is it quiet at night? One, you might open floodgates to things you don't want to hear. Or two, then it might just be targeting too much. Or that person's going to say, oh, well, I don't have anything to say about that, so I just won't leave a review then. So I think it'll be interesting. I think there could be key themes, again, ethically that you bring up or mention to your residents. Especially, we talked about this back in review management. If they come to you and they mention something they love, definitely use that time to ask them. If they say, hey, I love your resident events and I love the coffee bar we have in here. That would be a key time to say, that is so great. Do you mind mentioning those things specifically, in a Google review for us? That would really help us out. I think that's a good time. Again, making it sound natural, not too robotic.
So I guess what would be really cool then if they were to leave a review mentioning this place has an all-star coffee bar. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then you obviously reply back to that review saying, hey, Caroline, love that you love our all-star coffee bar.
Yeah.
And taking your dog to our amazing dog park, right?
Yeah.
Kind of almost reinforcing that AI strategy, if you would. You're almost training the AI,
Yes.
right? So the resident, the initial review has, dog park and all-star coffee bar mentioned in it, and then you mentioning it back in there as well. Hopefully in the text that an AI summary would actually pick up on that. So that could be pretty neat. And I guess we'll see what comes in the next few months. How often this will be rolled out.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be like AI overviews right now, which are pretty much rolled out for every search that you do.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining this is just, this will be for every Google listing out there with reviews. This will be rolled out as well. So
Yeah.
I got a couple more questions on this one. So from a team perspective, will the star rating still matter?
Yeah, these are good questions. Yes, they will. But I think what Google is trying to focus more on is not flooding the market with just a bunch of 5-star reviews with no content and description in them. They're also really cutting down on their legitimacy and on their manipulated reviews. So that's something they're going to be looking at. So yes, your star rating still matters. Remember, that's the first part that a prospect is going to look at before they even open your reviews. Like you said, I think we'll continue to see enhancements I think they're testing things out and it's going to continue to get better. I don't see it going away. Like you were saying, these are all over, GEO and everything we're seeing on Google now. They're going to stay. It's just how they're going to enhance them and change them and what we're going to learn about them more. But I think that's helpful. You definitely want the story in your reviews to be the thing that's focused, and that's what Google's trying to drive behind. And they want to help consumers. They're doing this in the interest of helping all of us as consumers and people purchasing things. And then you can, we were talking about this, you cannot turn this off. This will not be a feature you can opt out of. This will be something I think we continue to see enhanced and grown upon. If you don't see it now on your listing, I think it's just a matter of time. This is continuing to roll out more and more, and is definitely the direction that we're getting from Google that they're heading. And then we have stuff, local 3-pack was something that's been mentioned before. And is it going away? Not universally. So far, this is something that Google is testing variations of. But I would just plan for AI to move into the space, AI to start summarizing these things more often. It's just definitely the direction of what we're hearing from Google.
All right. Well, good insight. It is a changing out there. So
yes.
With that, we will do a wrap on this episode. I say we're going to keep it short and sweet for you guys out there, all about AI. We have a lot more podcasts coming out on AI as well. And hope you took something away from this show and love your feedback. If you would like to suggest a topic, please reach out to us at resident360.com. Other than that, Caroline, I want to thank you once again for some valuable insight on AI, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, Josh. Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.